Hello my friends in YouTube land, Richard here. If I look a little disheveled, I'm sorry. Been working all day. Just got home and I'm being swarmed by kitties. And on GoodWill recently, their website, I found a drum for sale. It was a $7.99 bid and I bid $8 and I won. So check this guy out. It's flipping huge. Check that out. This is an 18 by 18. I have had an 18-inch tom before, but it was a much shorter shell. This thing is massive. It's an old Yamaha FT518GA, made in Japan. What's cool is I looked this drum up. It's actually all mahogany, which is neat. Nice big warm tone for a big warm drum. It didn't come with legs. I actually had ordered these legs before I even got this drum. And I ordered the vintage size tom legs, the 9.5 millimeter, and they fit perfectly, which is great. This thing has a big crack in it, at least the wrap does, and it's super dirty, scratches all over it. I'm going to do a cheap restoration, right? So instead of spending, as I looked them up, the oyster wrap I actually like for this thing is around 150 bucks just for this one drum. So we're not doing that. I found some cool vinyl wrap. It's supposed to go on cars, so I'm hoping that means it's a little more durable than your regular vinyl. But yeah, I want to try that, do a little bit of a quick restoration on this thing, and if all goes well, maybe we'll find us a high tom and a kick, just randomly, wrap them all in the same stuff, and have our own little kind of ghetto drum kit. It might be kind of fun. I do want to say, one of the reasons I bid on this drum is all the hardware is here, all the lugs and everything, just surprisingly, you know, usually a crappy old GoodWill drum doesn't have all the hardware. So anyway, let's take this off now. Get a good look at what we're dealing with inside. Kind of wondering what kind of heads to put on because I'm not keeping this weird Terry Bozzio thing. Doesn't look out of round. I don't see any cracks in the mahogany. This looks like it's only a 6-ply, which means it should have quite a bit of resonance, which is pretty neat. But yeah, looking up this drum kit, these were the large size toms. You can hear my voice bouncing off that bottom head. These were the large size toms Yamaha made. So this belonged to a kit that had a 13 and 14-inch rack and an 18-inch floor. So here's the internals of our lugs here. There's no rubber spacer like you see on a lot of modern drums. Usually there'll be a rubber sort of gasket. You can see how long this crack is in the wrap. Just a simple black wrap. Normally these things are put on with some pretty hardcore glue. Yeah, that seems to be the case here. Okay, that's salvageable. That'll work. Now, we gotta get the wrap off. Also, we'll quite clearly have to get a new vent, but that's not a problem. So the heat gun is helping. I might be softening it a little too much. Might be just the ticket though. This is one of those times I wish I had somebody to, oh yeah, that's helping. I wish I had somebody to help me out. Just hold on to the drum or work the heat gun. I regret not buying a new putty knife for this project. And some gloves would help. Whew. Biggest chunk so far. Got our shell cleaned off. Then tomorrow we'll sand this as smooth as we can. Now just show you guys, coconut was helping the whole time.
I've been sanding for about an hour now. It's currently after midnight. I'm sure my neighbors love me. Alright, so I ran in the house, got the good camera. I have spent way too long sanding this. My hands are just shaking. I don't know if you've ever sanded anything for a long time with an orbital sander. You'll get that weird shake in your hands. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and most of the glue is off of this. There's a whole bunch of it. Most of it's off. I'm going to hit it with some acetone to try to get any outlying stuff that I can off. and just to get general grossness off this drum. And then we're gonna get to wrapping it. I think it's about that time. So yeah, it's been sarcastically fun. This will also help pull a little bit of the oil out of the wood as well, which will be good for sticking the vinyl down here in a little bit. Though from what I've read, this is an 80s drum, so it should be pretty dry, which means it should have a nice resonance to it. So the first rule in rewrapping a drum is having a coconut-free workplace, which you can see I don't, so I'm going to break that rule. But check out the wrap. It's like a carbon fiber sort of chameleon look. Thought it was kind of cool. Fortunately, Coconut got to it, because that's what he does. So we're going to use this side. So currently, trying to straighten it up. Good news is it's much stickier than I thought. I was going to use some glue on it, but I don't think I'm going to need to do that now. Bad news is super wrinkly. I should have got a squeegee. You guys think this will be one of those projects where, like, when I'm done, I'm all super proud, so I do like a YouTube song, like a stolen YouTube song that's got like a drum and bass groove with some like happy classical guitar on it, while there's a bunch of like slow-mo shots of this thing? I don't think so. It's doing like 1.5 inches at a time maybe. Okay, so I like the color shift quality and I like the carbon fiber look, but you can see every imperfection in the drum, including where that little piece of wood had come out. The port actually goes right there, so that'll help cover some of that. So now we gotta put some holes in it. Alright, so the way I'm gonna take care of these holes is pretty simple. Got a sharp drill bit, I'm gonna poke the hole, and then use the reamer to widen it to the correct width. This stuff is so thin, shouldn't be a problem to kind of feel where everything goes. The vinyl isn't pulled or anything when we put the hardware in because we've got rid of the material, and it goes pretty quick. My original plan is that if I was super happy with this stuff, I was going to throw automotive clear over it just to protect it a little more and really bring the gloss up. Because when you have a chameleon finish like this, the more gloss you have, the more light can actually hit the finish and make it look better. So I've got all my holes in the drum, or through the new wrap, and here's my vent, and you may be like, why is that vent gold? Because the hardware was silver. Well, one day I plan on upgrading the hardware to gold hardware, because I think it would look cool with this kind of finish. I was gonna put the Yamaha badge back on because it'll fit, but it's so bent and like I could probably straighten it out, but I think we're gonna just pass on it, and it just so happens to fit perfectly. So the rest of this hardware is pretty grody, obviously. Again, it's a drum from the 80s, what do you expect? I'm going to get as much of the growth off as I can with a little non-bleach all-purpose cleaner. These are actually coming out very nice. So my wrap name is Elbow Grease, because I'm constantly doing projects like this that take a lot of elbow grease. That's L-B-O-W. You know, make it different. G-R-E-A-Z. Elbow grease. I'm gonna keep this bottom head. Gotta say I'm pretty guilty of very rarely replacing my Rezo heads, unless I'm trying something completely different anyway. But this is a good head. It's a Remo. Ambassador Weather King. Rather heavy for a Rezo, but it's kind of gonna go with the theme of this drum, which is just a big warm sound, because it's a mahogany drum. It's an 18, so it's gonna have a nice warm sound to it. But this head is, like the rest of the drum, pretty gross, so we're gonna clean it, and then I think it'll be good to go. Alright, now we're gonna clean the rims. Alright, my friends, here's our drum, our 18-inch floor tom, all done. That wrap is super cool. And here's our little vent, of course. And I totally forgot to film just this at the end of all that work you saw me do. So over here behind me is actually all the other drums that are done. So that video will be coming out soon. I think I'm going to put them all in the next video. So it'll be a maybe 2, maybe 3-part series, depending on how long it takes me to do the snare, because I want to do something cool with it. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Coconut seems happy. So thanks for watching, everybody. And yeah, I will see you in the next one as we continue to refinish our GoodWill drums. And maybe we should call this a GoodWill drum team. I don't know. That's Rishi. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.